Alright, so recently I made a new RuneScape 3 Group Ironman account, and within the first day it's been pretty good. We got 5 people on the United States, mostly East Coast Central Time. I think I've grinded the most hours. I think I've only been offline for a few hours since we started. I wanted to make this Group Ironman because I think it's the most enjoyable experience, honestly, for RuneScape, because obviously the access to resources and bossing and everything, it's just a much fairer rate in my opinion. And Mainscape, it kind of ruins the incentive to PVM when you can just buy stuff from the Grand Exchange. Now obviously, if you look at I'm gonna go to Alt 1 here, and then you look at my main Ironman stats, Timo GIM. I gotta find the new bait spot. Where's the new bait spot? There we go. So it's at 1.2 bill total XP, and obviously I've already grinded a lot of items on there from a PVM standpoint, like our Glacier, hard mode care pack, Talos. I think Group Ironman actually forced me to learn a lot of PVM in this game, as opposed to just Mainscape. There was a lot of bosses I was avoiding, camping for too long. But I will say, hard mode care pack, grinding for a fracture staff, that took a chunk out of me. That felt like, I don't want to say it was like military training, but it was definitely a bit soul crushing, and I put my body on the line at some points to get that fractured staff. Other than that, so far this account experience has been good. The Timo GIM account was made around this time of RuneScape 3 Group Ironman release, and so that was October 29th, 2024, I'm pretty sure. So it's been almost 2 years, and you get to see some of the updates to Dailyscape, obviously, with this new Group Ironman, and then obviously you have a different group vibe, obviously, because you have a different 4 other players. With my original Group Ironman, it started as competitive, but I realized there were just too many downsides to being competitive Group Ironman. Obviously, there's some elitism, among people that are competitive. They're like, oh yeah, competitive is the only way to go. But now since they they ended Wilderness Flash events, that changes a lot of things. I think the biggest downside for me for competitive Group Ironman is that you can only PVM with people in your group, so even raids and stuff, it just doesn't sound like a fun time. Yeah, I think it's kind of a dumb mechanic, but other than that, there's not a lot of PVM for me right now on this account, because it's still fairly new. I think there's still a lot of quests. So you go to the quest tab here, you show completed. And then I'm gonna go to the quest tab here. I have to do my challenges today. But if we go to the quest tab, like I was trying to say. So sort, how do you sort by progress? There we go. So we have 51 quest points, which actually reminds me that I should claim my dice. But let's try to get this. So we have 51 quest points. We finished the obvious, starter quests. Blood Pack, Demon Slayer, Fight Arena, Golem. Nothing special here. There's still a lot of starter quests we haven't done. Sort this by. I think they got rid of the difficulty sort It doesn't show difficulty unless it's like a new account thing or something. But you could see like length. Actually, free members. Here you go. There's a bunch of still free quests. I think some of the Haven Height stuff is also free to play. And yeah, these are all the short quests. I think we did all the very short. I'm not sure if there's very short. Monk's Friend, Killy Row. Yeah, but that's a lot of early game. It's definitely like addicting to do the grind. And I will say creating a new account for me was much better than focusing on this Teemo account any further, because you kind of hit a content wall for me personally in endgame, even like from an Ironman perspective, because like, you know, the bosses I was doing was like I wasn't doing 83, but if you look at this, I didn't do a lot of a Masket, but I got pretty spoon there. Was doing a lot of Arc Glacier, did a decent amount of rods from Malevolent. Was doing God Wars 1, did a decent amount of Croesus, you know. Carapac, I got the log, and then Vorkath I was actually enjoying a lot on hard mode, but that definitely gets like to become sensory overload after a while. Other than that, you know, I feel like I'm kind of back at home playing RuneScape again. I took a month or two break to kind of just be outdoors a lot, take care of the dog. And now it seems like things are kind of just back to a little more tame hermit lifestyle. I should probably go to the gym. I mean, I've been like moving a lot. Some days I was getting like 30,000 steps. Walking around the city of Chicago. Definitely being in Chicago helps you get like a lot of movement in, because that geography is so much bigger as opposed to smaller cities. Other than that, OSRS Deadman is in a few days. Dave Chappelle's actually performing. Maybe I should buy tickets for that. Lollapalooza's coming up, but that's mostly for like 20-year-old girls in college, I guess. From a RuneScape standpoint, I don't know. We'll see how long I last on this account. Here's the bait. In terms of other things to talk about for this video, from a psychiatry standpoint, I know some people cold message me, even about the in Vegas stuff, which is like, you know, the more you take it over the years, obviously the better or worse it gets. It's like a mixed bag. It's just the drug that I personally tolerated the best, the Invictus stent injection. I was on 117 for a while. And, you know, definitely doing mentally healthier. I would say emotionally things are a little whack. Like, I'm trying to still take care of my health. I have a lot of like comfort issues from an emotional or biochemical standpoint from day to day that I'm trying to manage. I don't know if I've had like a very emotionally or mentally solid day. I don't know if it's weather dependent living near Chicago, but and then you also some of the post-traumatic stuff, thinking back upon college at Urbana-Champaign. I mean, you know, I think personally for me, I think it's kind of deceptive for a lot of these college programs to say that, this major is like high paying, but then obviously the difficulty is not forewarned. And I think in the 2010s, actuarial science was just like all the rage. Like, it pays basically as well as a doctor, if not better sometimes. Probably less stress than a doctor, granted, the exams and all that. But on top of the academia standpoint, the community of that church I attended, Covenant Fellowship Church, say what you want about Korean churches, it's like, you know, obviously there's, I'm not trying to be like discriminatory, but I mean, as Chinese or to say things about Korean culture, but you definitely hear a lot of negativity about Korean culture sometimes with how regimented and strict people can be towards each other, especially in the church. Sense of hierarchy and performance based social activities. But honestly, I didn't get that feeling that much from my church time there. Definitely was maybe a little more spiritual than it should have been, I will say, but it wasn't like people were prophesying over each other or something. It seems like my other people that I knew had a somewhat good experience, but then there's also a lot of people that said yeah, this church is just not it. But yeah, in terms of finding a church here where I'm living now, in all honesty, if I had a deal, would I go back to that college church? Probably not, but I would say socially it's way better. I think it had more to do with the college atmosphere than maybe anything the church did, honestly. But yeah, churches in Chicago suburbs are just not really it. It's a lot of unless you go to like a mega church, but had my experience with some of the bigger churches, and it was health conditions weren't the best, so it didn't really thrive in my time there. But yeah, it's summer, got vacations lined up, buying concert tickets if you count Runescape Deadman as a concert. I mean, it's in a theater, I guess, but I figured, if Jags is going to have an event near me, I should definitely buy tickets. Granted, I did have some regrets, but we'll see how it goes. And I haven't really been following on Twitch this Deadman stuff. Other than that, I don't know. I think that might wrap it up for this video. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.